Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the info section for certificate program in interior design and interior architecture. So we'll start our presentation shortly. With us today, we have Anastasia Meadows. She is the program director, and my name is Gary Tran. I'm the program coordinator. So we'll start our webinar in a second, okay? If anyone can, if the audio is okay, raise your hand. So we want to know everything goes smoothly. Excellent, thank you.
And if anybody has questions during the presentation, please feel free to pop those in the Q&A box. And Gary will answer questions as we go. Some of them he might share with me. We'll also have time at the end, the little Q&A session.
So there is actually a question already. So taking 1 or 2 classes a semester, how long does it take to complete the program? So we'll cover that later later on in the slide deck. So hang on for a second. And as a reminder, please put your questions in the Q&A box rather than the chat box. That would be really helpful. Thanks.
Gary, let me know when you feel like the majority of the folks who signed up are on board.
Yeah, I think we can start the presentation. It looks like it stops at 37 participants.
Great. Well, welcome to our online information session. We're so glad you could be here with us to learn more about the certificate program in interior design and interior architecture at UC Berkeley Extension. As Gary mentioned, I'm Anastasia Meadows, program director. Gary is the program coordinator. So let's start by talking about the certificate and how it can benefit you, whether you are a career changer or already have some interior design experience. We'll begin by talking about the field of interior design and interior architecture and how our certificate can give you a competitive edge to enter this exciting field or enable you to advance to the next level. You're also going to learn the nuts and bolts of our interior design and interior architecture program and how you can get started. If you have any questions, as I said during the presentation, please go ahead and pop those in the Q&A box. And Gary will answer some questions. He may share some with me, and then we will have a Q&A session at the end. So let's get started. The interior design program and the certificate program in interior design and interior architecture was actually developed here at UC Berkeley Extension more than 30 years ago in response to a growing profession. The program provides adult students with a comprehensive interior design education that is professional quality, affordable, and available on a part-time basis. We do try to accommodate working adults, so most of the classes meet in the evenings, but we do also have some courses available in afternoons or weekends. So with the massive recent changes due to the pandemic, there is an increasing need for designers who can address how we are now work and live and create spaces that are that enhance health, safety, and our sense of well-being. The concern for environment and products that are sustainable is also changing the way we select materials for the way we live. There's a demand for professionals who have an understanding of green building products, environmental friendly building systems, and as I mentioned, health and safety. And this is a whole field of study. Designers who are trained to develop residences, commercial facilities, schools, hospitals, resorts, and senior communities that reflect the health, safety, and well-being of their occupants are in high demand. So keeping, and also, so you're coming into the program with a bachelor's degree, you're taking the certificate program, and as an outcome, you will actually be ready to enter the interior design profession. Many students who complete the program then will work for a while in the field and perhaps sit for the Ncidq or IDEX exams to become a certified interior designer. But this program can take you from having no experience at all in art, design, or anything related to being able to enter the profession. So that's where UC Berkeley Extension comes in. Your bachelor's degree combined with our interior design, interior architecture program gives you the knowledge and skills to be successful and marketable. So this program has a reputation as having an emphasis on spatial design, not just surface embellishment. And our students are trained to understand space in relation to scale and proportion codes and regulations, and also to satisfy user needs and select sustainable materials, furnishings, and colors to create healthy living environments. So if you're creative and you have a desire to design better living and working environments, this program can show you how to accomplish that. You can go on to work as a commercial designer where you create interior designs for professional workplaces, restaurants, or hotels. You might work as a healthcare designer to design and renovate healthcare centers, clinics, doctors' offices, hospitals, and residential care facilities. Oops. Kitchen and bath designers have expert knowledge in the variety of cabinets, fixtures, appliances, plumbing, and electrical solutions for these rooms. Or you might work as a sustainable designer where you use strategies to improve energy, water efficiencies, indoor air quality, specify environmentally preferable products. And you could also start working toward your LEED certificate. So our course credits can be applied to qualify for both the California Council of Interior Design Certification exam or the National Council for Interior Design Qualification exam. We have student chapters of both professional interior design organizations, the American Society of Interior Designers, and the International Interior Design Association. So how does UC Berkeley Extension help you achieve your career goals and become more competitive in this field? UC Berkeley Extension is the continuing education arm of the flagship campus, UC Berkeley. And since 1891, we've been assisting students in reaching their professional goals and accomplishments. We offer more than 65 professional certificates and specialized programs and more than 2,000 classroom and online courses with over 45,000 enrollments each year. We do pride ourselves on academic excellence. All of our courses and instructors, as in this program, are approved by the appropriate campus department. And this program in particular is approved by the UC Berkeley Department of Architecture. Our instructors, all of whom work in the field, also bring their real world experience into the classroom. So when you enroll in a UC Berkeley Extension course, you will be gaining the real world professional Berkeley quality education that you're looking for. So let's focus on the certificate itself now. This curriculum combines lectures and studio work to help you master the various concepts you need to know and apply them to projects relevant to your work, whether you're the work you're currently doing or the work you will be doing as an interior designer. And in each class, you'll work on projects so that you can take course content and apply it to real world projects. So to complete the entire certificate program, you'll be taking 21 required courses and 4 semester units of electives, which usually translates to 2 to 4 classes. In total, you'll receive 61 semester units of hands-on practical instruction. And You're probably wondering how much time you'll need to do this. Attending part-time, this program usually takes about 3 to 3.5 years to complete. It's possible to take it full-time, but I'd say that means that you'd be finishing in about 2.5 to 3 years. So most students complete the certificate between 3 to 5 years. And in terms of how much time you spend while taking classes, as a general guideline for every class, you should expect to spend about 6 to 9 hours outside of class time doing homework. Some of the courses you take are going to have more, some a little less, but this is a general estimate that you can use to gauge how many courses would be appropriate to take in a particular term based on your other work and personal demands. Most students in this program take 2 or 3 courses per term. 2 courses being the most common per term. The coursework is divided into 3 phases. So let's take a look at the courses you're going to complete as part of the certificate and toward creating your professional portfolio. In the first phase, you have your fundamental courses that prepare you for the studio courses to come. These courses are sequential, so the courses build one upon the other, and that means it's important for you to take them in the correct order so that you're satisfying the prerequisites that you need as you move through the program. The first course we recommend students take is Design Principles and Elements. But if you're looking to take more than just one course to start, Design Communication 1 or Color Theory and Application for Interiors would be great to take along with Design Principles and Elements. We feel very strongly that knowing how to manually draft and draw is important. So you are going to learn these skills in Design Communication 1, 2, and 3. And once you start to learn how to draw and render, by hand, you'll then move on to using digital programs like SketchUp, Autocad, Photoshop, and InDesign in both the Autocad and Digital Presentation Techniques course. In addition, you're going to have your first course in architectural history, which gives you context and vocabulary for your future design work. And in Color Theory and Application for Interiors, you will review the color-based theories of Albert Munsell, Johannes Itten, and Joseph Albers. You'll learn how to change value and intensity of colors using paint, but you'll also learn how to understand the way that light works in space and transforms color. During phase 2, you're going to take your first 2 design studio courses. You'll be completing projects, learning how to develop and solve design issues. Your grade is based on how well you have solved the problem by using models, drawings, and perspectives, finishing, and furniture boards. In material finishes and interior finishes and materials, you'll learn how the materials are installed, how they transition into one another. You may be doing research online, or if it's possible with pandemic restrictions, you might take field trips to showrooms and manufacturing facilities to expand your resource base. And within History of Architecture, Interiors, and Decorative Arts 2, you're going to expand your knowledge from the first history course by studying Victoria Revival style, the emergence of arts and crafts in the modern and contemporary movements. Space planning courses teach you techniques for assimilating client project information, analyzing program requirements, and developing schematic space planning solutions for residential and commercial situations. You also learn building codes, fire safety, and barrier-free designs as essential components of laying out a workable interior space. In Fundamentals of Lighting Design, you're going to learn the fundamentals of lighting and determine how to apply them in practical situations for residential and commercial interiors. You'll have specific exercises and case studies to train you to draw lighting plans, write specifications, and create study models. And your final course in phase 2 is learning the BIM software program called Revit, which is quickly becoming an industry standard. And in the final phase of the program, phase 3 consists of 2 advanced design studio courses. This is where you will create design work that will be appropriate for inclusion in your portfolio. Construction documents will teach you how to produce a complete set of working drawings from the plans through details and specifications. And in building components and systems for interior architecture, you'll learn how various building systems are designed and integrated into the building shell so you can effectively design safe, healthy, and suitable environments for human activity. With the final 2 required courses, these are going to help prepare you to be a competitive applicant when you are ready to enter the interior design field. In business practices, you'll cover business development, financial management, and strategic planning. You'll study practical aspects of the design business, including project management, contracts, record keeping, licensing, ways to limit your liability, and legal and ethical aspects of the profession. And then the ever important portfolio and presentation courses, where you will design, develop, and revise your portfolio of work in digital and print formats. You'll also refine your resume, set up a career plan, and create your marketing materials. We also provide a selection of course electives that can help you grow professionally in the way that works for you. The electives will give you the opportunity to customize your learning by taking courses that are relevant to you and the specialization you would like to go into. You can take electives in topics like kitchen and bath design, sketching, digital drawing courses. We do encourage students to try out internships if that's an option while in the certificate program. We are often contacted by firms looking for students in our program to fill internships. So we do have an elective course that supports you while you're in the internship and allows you to earn academic credit for that, with the guidance of our interior design facilitator and one of the instructors in the program, and the supervision of the host organization. You will have the opportunity to work as a junior designer and get more exposure to the real design world, which helps prepare for your future profession. So while you're in the program, you're going to be learning best practices, techniques, and strategies from our interior design instructors, who all bring years of real world experience into the classroom. Our instructors are skilled experts that are really committed and deeply vested in your success. They're really passionate about sharing their knowledge with you and helping you achieve your professional and career goals. We do, when we're out of the pandemic, and before the pandemic, most of our courses were available at our San Francisco campus, which is located in downtown San Francisco. During the pandemic, this campus has been closed, and we have been offering all of our courses in the live online format, with a couple of online courses that are asynchronous format. The live online format is really set up to, as closely as possible, match what you would experience in the classroom, but the weekly class sessions, instead of being in a classroom, are held via Zoom, just like we're doing right now. And there is a learning management system that's used to support where you will be able to access your course materials and read the assignments, upload your projects, and the time in your weekly class sessions are devoted to lecture, interactive activities, critiques, and students have found, to their surprise, during the pandemic, that this has actually been a very effective way to learn and very convenient because they don't have to commute. It also makes our courses accessible to students who live outside the Bay Area. So that has been a huge bonus. So in terms of earning your certificate, that's pretty straightforward. You first need to register for the program. You can do that online on our website. And we recommend that you do this at least before you start your second or third course. I mean, if you want to take one semester of courses and try it out and see if it's a good fit for you, and you know, if the course load and the homework feel manageable, that's totally fine. But by your second semester, we do encourage students to be registered for the program. You can find all of the requirements on our website. So once you're in the program, you just need to complete all the required courses and electives with a grade of C or better within a 5-year time period. That's the maximum time you have to complete the program. One benefit is that you will pay as you go. You don't have to pay for the whole program at once. You just pay by individual course. And the prices vary based on each course, but in total, the cost to complete the certificate program runs approximately $24,000, just under. That's not including course materials or textbooks. That's for course fees. So some of you might be wondering what happens, you know, with our graduates once they finish the program. They, by and large, get really good jobs in the interior design field in all aspects of it. And I would say actually a lot of our students start working in the interior design field well before they finish the program. You actually, by the time you're midway through the program, you've got enough skills where you could get an entry-level position and start working while in the program. And many students do that. That gives them, you know, a head start so that they've already got some professional experience in the interior design field by the time they finish the program and start looking for a higher level design position. So how to get started? If you are new to Extension, you'll need to create a free student account through our website. You're going to use this account to enroll and pay for your courses. This is also where you can find out your grades and track your progress through the certificate. Then you'll enroll in your first course. As I mentioned earlier, we recommend starting with design principles and elements, but you really could take any of the phase 1 courses that have no prerequisites, and that would include, in addition to design principles and elements, you could take design communication 1, color theory and application, history of architecture, interiors, and decorative arts. All of those courses have no prerequisites, and you can jump right in. I also recommend that you sign up for our newsletter. We have a monthly newsletter that will just notify you of available courses and share information about graduates of the program that are featured on our blog called the Voices blog. And yeah, that is basically it to get started. So I think we can, ooh, I forgot this slide. Sorry, here it is in a nutshell. Yeah, so now we can go to our Q&A if any questions have come in.
Yeah, so I've been answering a lot of questions throughout the presentation. So there are a few that would be beneficial for everybody, so I left them open. So is it mandatory to pass the index or Ncidq to work as an interior designer?
It's not required. You actually can work in the interior design field without being a certified interior designer. But as you progress through your career, for many interior designers, it's the logical progression to to sit for the exam, you actually have to have some interior design professional experience, some work experience, as well as your education. So that's why I said that earlier, that most students will spend some time working after the program before they sit for the IDEX or Ncidq qualifying exams. But this program does give you the education component that you need, combined with your bachelor's degree. And the work experience that you will gain either while working in the program and after will contribute to the work experience component that's required to sit for the exam.
And how are the courses graded? Is it through homework assignments and projects, or are there any proctor exams?
In this program, we have no proctored exams. Almost all of the courses are project-based. Maybe a lecture course like the history courses, there are some exams, but for the most part, these courses are project-based. So you'll be doing a lot of project work, and those will just develop in scope and complexity as you move through the program.
Are the classes listed during the day currently will be available in the evening in the future?
All the courses will be available in the evening, and then we have a more limited selection of courses that we offer during the day. So mostly, for sure, we try to offer phase 1 courses in both evening and daytime. But as you move through the program, you'll find that most of the courses do tend to be, some of them are offered only in the evening. In other words, because the students in this program are mostly working professionals, and largely based in the Bay Area, California, then it does work best generally for them to be able to take courses in the evening. So that's why the courses are predominantly in that time slot. But now, as we have more students joining from outside the Bay Area, possibly in other time zones, we are trying to add more daytime offerings as well.
So the portfolio and professional presentation course is in phase 3. Are we also helped during phase 1 and 2 to build a portfolio based on what we learned during the first 2 phases?
It's a good idea to keep the work you do. You will be creating projects, and some of those you may want to adapt for inclusion in your portfolio if they're really strong work. But as I mentioned earlier, you will be, growing and improving, and the scope of what you're doing will increase. So most students use the projects they complete in some of the lateral design studios. Design Studio 1 through 4, students often include projects from those in their portfolio.
So are there any possible challenges not living locally to the school?
The only challenge it might be if you're not a night owl and you need a class that is running in the evening hours, because that would be a little late for someone who's on East Coast or international time zones. That would be the main concern, I would think, for some people. But all the courses will be available. We have committed to offering everything in the live online format for those who live outside the Bay Area and want to complete the program.
Okay. Roughly how many students are enrolled in the certificate training? Is there an alumni association?
There's not an alumni association specific to this program. There is, UC Berkeley has an alumni association. And what was the first part of the question, Gary?
How many students are enrolled in the certificate program?
Well, we actually had a huge growth spurt during the pandemic, but so normally I would say that there's about incoming probably between 50 to 60 students incoming every year, but that, I think that's more the traditional. It may have gone up from there. Do you have a sense of that, Gary? You've been seeing incoming.
Yeah. Our enrollment has been spiked up quite a bit since we transitioned to remote learning. students from out of states, as well. We have students from, internationally as well. So we expanded our territory.
We're accessible to more people, and that's a great thing.
In which phase would you recommend we apply for an internship?
So that's a good question. The instructor who facilitates the internships usually likes to see people do this when they're about halfway through the program. Hopefully they've gotten to about the level of where you would be completing the phase where you'd be completing Design Studio 2. That way you've got all your foundation skills and you've started doing Design Studio work, and it will allow you to have a higher level internship and actually do some work at junior design level.
This is a question that we may not be able to answer. How much is the student license to the program?
That information is not available to us, actually. So we would only know anecdotally by students telling us after they've been out of the program for a while and done the exam, they would have to let us know. So I actually don't have numbers on that. But I do know that students do often go on to do that. One of the instructors in the program actually did move through this certificate program years ago, went on to get work with Gensler, became a certified interior designer, and is now running his own interior design firm. So, but as I said, anecdotal. I do hear stories of students doing this, but and having great success, but we don't have specific numbers available to us on the percentage who take the Ncidq or IDEX exam and pass.
So when is the start date?
We have classes starting in early September for the fall semester. And UC Berkeley Extension runs on the semester system. We have 3, fall, spring, and summer. And so enrollment's open now for fall, and anybody can jump on a course if they're ready. And our spring courses will be starting in January, and we have classes with start dates up until March. And then in summer, the classes start in June.
So is this program geared toward mostly commercial or residential design?
We cover both. So what you need to know to do either residential or commercial design is covered in this program.
Here's a follow-up question. So will classes currently available in between 9 to 5 be available outside of business hours in the future? For an example, like 6 to 9? Most
of our courses are offered in the evening from 6 to 9. That's all the courses can be taken in the evening. And then we have a smaller selection of courses that are available during the day or weekends.
If you know you will miss 1 to 2 classes, what could you do?
That would the best thing to do would be to reach out to your instructor, let them know that you're going to be missing class. Many instructors are willing to record the class session so that you can see what you missed. The course materials will be available on your Canvas site. That's the learning management system that I mentioned, so that you'll have that information accessible there as well.
Is this program comparable to a bachelor or to a master?
That's a good question. At 61 semester units, it is comparable in length to many degree programs. I would say because it starts from ground zero, where you don't have to have any prior knowledge at all, that it might reflect the coursework or course experience that you would have in an undergraduate program. But the advanced level courses are fairly comparable to some graduate level as well. So mostly I would compare it to a bachelor's degree program. But it's a great preparation for those who want to go into a master's in interior design.
Okay, let's see. With this being offered remotely, when it comes to internships, are we placed with companies in the local area or only in the Bay Area?
We don't have any job placement services, but we do have Bay Area firms looking to hire our graduates. They do reach out. They share job notices with us. They share internship opportunities. So Bay Area interior design firms have found that they really appreciate the students coming out of this program, because not only are they mature and an adult, but also have a lot of practical knowledge. Students that are coming fresh out of undergraduate programs might have more theoretical knowledge, and so yes, our graduates are highly valued by Bay Area interior design firms.
You must need a bachelor degree to enter the program.
Generally, yes. There are a few exceptions that can be made in cases where someone's been in the interior design field and they want to formalize their education, or have virtually the equivalent of a BA, but maybe didn't get the actual degree. But by and large, we encourage students entering the program to have a bachelor's degree, so that you're already well versed in learning at the university level.
So if I had a bachelor degree in architecture, can I use the credits toward the program?
We do have an advanced standing option for those who have completed a bachelor's in architecture, or a bachelor's degree in interior design, or a master's degree for that matter. Sometimes we have students who have completed a master's in architecture who want to study interior design. It's about the advanced standing curriculum is a little more than half the regular curriculum. So you're coming in at a more advanced level. The assumption is that you've already completed all the foundation skills that would be covered in the early part of this program, so that you can come in and start about the level of the space planning and design studio to course, and take it from there.
So does Berkeley Extension help with software access, such as student discounts on Autocad or Revit?
Yes, you are eligible for free access to AutoCAD and Revit software if you are enrolled in the courses.
So how many courses are recommended if I were taking the program full-time?
If you were attending full-time, it would be 3 or 4 courses per term. Attending part-time, it's more like 2 courses per term. You can go through 2 courses per term. Sometimes people like to get somewhere in between there, like they like taking 3 courses and you would finish a little faster, but generally the majority of our students, because they're working and have other things, other commitments, most students take it part-time with 2 courses per term.
Will I be able to complete the program only taking evening courses?
Yes.
Is registration still open for this fall?
Yes. And please check our website. You can get the course descriptions, course schedule information there, and you can enroll directly off the website.
Everyone in class meets at the same time or instead of self-paced?
The live online format is synchronous, meaning that everybody meets the same time once a week. The classroom is via Zoom. So the instructor would send out a link to the Zoom classroom to everybody who's enrolled prior to the start of the class, and you join there. So you're there face to face with all the students and your instructor, and the instructors lead lecture, interactive activities, discussions, all of that happens on Zoom. And so it's not self-paced. We actually don't have any, we have 2 electives that are in an asynchronous online format where it is more self-paced, where you are accessing lecture information and course materials at your own pace, and then completing projects on a deadline. But that's only a couple of elective courses. By and large, all of our courses are in the live online format right now, and will be available live online going forward. Starting next year, we hope to reintroduce some of the in-person classroom-based courses as well.
So how competitive is the program with other interior design programs? And is it recognized in the field outside of California?
That's a good question. I think that the program is very competitive. It's UC Berkeley is known worldwide. We do have some students joining from outside of California, so I think that there's a presence there. But I don't have any statistics that I can quote on how well known the program is outside of California. I'm sorry.
Is there much collaboration with other students?
There is group work that happens within some of the design studio courses, and certainly there are students form a cohort when they come into the program. They often, interact with the same students as they move through the program. So we do have groups of students that move through together.
What is the percentage of students complete the whole program?
Well, it's a very long program, and so there is some attrition, and that is to be expected with a program of this length. I would say we probably have about anywhere between 12 and 15 students finish the program each year, graduate.
Can interior design classes from a community college credited toward the program?
Yes, it is possible to transfer credit from a college or university. We get that question quite frequently. If you previously completed the equivalent of any of our required courses, you can request a transfer. We do accept up to 15 semester units transferred from another accredited college or university. But the coursework has to be equivalent. The number of units has to be equal to or more than the course that we're offering, and you have to have completed it with a B or better to qualify for a transfer. But if you do that, then it's entirely possible to transfer units from coursework you completed elsewhere. One other restriction is that it should have been completed within the previous 5 years, so that the coursework that you're transferring in is fairly current.
So what will happen if I enroll for selected courses and won't be able to finish the program?
If you're unable to finish the program, you still will have a record of the completion of those courses. You can request a transcript from UC Berkeley Extension and show that you've completed any coursework. If you complete the program, in addition to receiving the certificate, a frameable certificate to put on your wall, you would also have a notation on your transcript that the certificate had been awarded.
How much of the architect is incorporated in this program?
The program focuses on interior design and interior architecture. So architectural elements within the space are covered. There is some coursework that duplicates what an architecture student might learn, especially in courses like building components and systems, or even our Design Studio 1 has a pretty strong architectural conceptual element to it. So, and you do learn the history of architecture in the history of architecture, interior, and decorative arts courses. Some of the foundational coursework is very applicable either way, such as Design Communication 1, 2, and 3. A lot of the
And-
courses can cross over, I guess is what I'm saying, especially the foundation level courses. As you get farther into the program, it becomes more specific to interior design.
And what is the official title description on the certificate once graduate?
It reads the certificate in interior design and interior architecture.
Let's see. What type of home computer do you recommend to complete the program?
Oh, Gary, you probably could answer that.
So basically, any computer, desktop, or laptop can be used, either a Mac or Windows, from 8 to 16 RAM, just very basic computer. But since right now we're in remote learning, so it's the more mandatory thing is more internet. Make sure that you have reliable internet for remote learning. That is more crucial. But any basic computers will do. Let's see what. Can you work anywhere location-wise with this certificate?
Yes, you could certainly work anywhere. And the NCIDQ a qualifying exam that some students would take after finishing the program and getting some work experience, that is a national qualifying exam. The other one I mentioned, IDEX, is specific to California. So I noticed that some folks are dropping off. So I just did want to thank everybody for attending. I'm happy to stay on and answer more questions, but I wanted to thank everybody who came and just mention that if you have any questions that we're not answering here, feel free to reach out to us. Our program email is extension-interiordesign@berkeley.edu, and we're happy to answer any questions you have.
Let's see what else do we have. What is what is the average salary for an interior designer?
That I don't have an average. I think it depends on where you are in the country and the type of design you're doing. So that you would probably have better answers by doing a little search. Gary, you have some resources for doing those sorts of searches, right?
Yes. So just send us an email to the inbox, to the program inbox, and I will follow up on that, and I will send you some links and resources. Let's see what else. Does UC Berkeley Extension offer master degrees in interior design?
No, UC Berkeley has only the Masters of Architecture.
How significant is the certificate versus your portfolio to employers in the field?
I think when you're looking for work in the interior design field, your portfolio is paramount. That is the first thing that anybody looks at before where you got your education, before anything else. So having a strong portfolio is key to getting a good job. And so I think that interior design firms will look at that and consider that before they will look at whether you have a degree, whether you have a certificate, what school you went to. That's a little bit secondary to how strong your portfolio is.
So here's the following up question. Let's see, let me just try to decipher this. I'm curious if it would give the title of interior designer or interior architectural designer, or what potential titles would this provide, would the certificate provide?
You can work as an interior designer. You can't call yourself an architect without being licensed.
What happens if we don't complete the courses within 5 years? For an example, if I'm missing 2 to 3 courses, and what do I need extra time?
We can you can request an extension of the program completion time. Usually this is done in cases where there were health or family emergency issues that prevented you from continuing your coursework. But sometimes other things interfere, and when it makes sense, we can provide an extension for another semester or two to finish up any coursework that still needs to be completed.
Let's see.
So if there aren't any other questions, we could wrap up and then have folks contact us. Do you
Yes.
have? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so just any questions that you may have or following up question. So send us an email to the inbox and we'll answer them promptly. I promise.
Gary, we'll get right back to you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you everyone for coming. Be safe. Take care. Bye.